Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's Monday, y'all. The 24th of April, 2023. Just 6-ish more days till April's over and May's here. It's going to be a cool day here in Northwest Ohio. Spring sprung, but then it went away. I don't like it. Anyway, but it's still a beautiful day. A little bit hazy, cloudy. I think it'll be, once the sun comes up all the way, I think it's going to be a beautiful day. Hope you all had a good weekend. Mine was busy. I worked Saturday and then spent the whole day at the truck stop yesterday. Corey and Faith came in for a chapel service. Didn't have any drivers, but I handed out a lot of tracts. Even gave a Bible or New Testament or two away to some drivers. So, sowing a seed. That's what I did. A lot of seed sowing last night and yesterday. So, anyway, yeah, it's Monday. Back to work. I go, and then work until through Friday, and then off the weekend. Pray for one another and to pray for me. I've got some things on my mind, ministry-wise and Lord-wise. And so, yeah, just pray for one another. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. So, hope you all pray for me. I pray for you. If you have any special prayer requests, make sure you send me a message. It'll go, if you're not friends with me, it just goes to my spam messages, but I do check them when I get them. So prayer request. Also, I do have an email just for the ministry. I have set up, I haven't fully set it up apparently, because I tried to log into it and didn't work, but I'll have that posted soon. And so, yeah, got to go back to the real world work today. So just pray for one another. If you're working, have a good day. If you're retired, then just enjoy your retirement. Y'all worked hard to get to that point. Anyway, so last week, we looked at Paul's conundrum. I wouldn't call it a conundrum, really. It was his desire that he'd rather be in heaven, but he had some things to do here yet. Again, Philippians was written about AD 62, and somewhere around there, AD 62-ish. He was martyred AD 66, 67. At this, he was in the prison at this one. And again, the theme of Philippians is how to have joy, really, when you're in tribulation. So, Paul, being locked up, still had joy. And joy knowing that he still was cared for, and he cared for the folks that he had been ministering to, and he was still reaching out to them. Now this week, we're going to jump into some practical things. As far as the book of Philippians. Now, this is no doctrinal stuff. It's just practical. Most of what the Philippians is about is practical. There's some doctrine stuff in there. Doctrine about the judgment seat of Christ, Philippians 1. 1:6 or 1:9. Let me look here. No, 1:6. That's doctrinal. And it's about eternal security and then the judgment seat of Christ, Philippians 1:6. So there's doctrine there. But a lot of it, the rest of it's practical. Just practical stuff, how to navigate their everyday stuff, everyday stress, everyday trials, everyday tribulation. So, jumping into that, we're going to look here at verses 27 through 30. But let me read 25 and 26, because that kind of closes out what we looked at last week. And we'll springboard into what we're going to talk about this week. So, verse 25, and having this confidence, I know that I shall abide and continue with you all for your furtherance and joy of faith. He said he's just going to keep going. Even though he wanted to go to heaven, he was going to keep going. Right? He was going to keep plugging on. He wasn't going to give up. He wasn't just going to curl up in a little corner and wait to die. No, he was going to keep on serving God and ministering to others until the time that God called him home. Or he was freed, one of the two. I think Paul had a pretty good clue that this was his last run. And just by the way he talked. I mean, he's an old man at this point. He's a crippled at this point. because he'd been beaten so many times, couldn't hardly move around. He was literally almost blind. So by this point, Paul's desire to depart was probably a little selfish. He was tired of dealing with all that stuff. I'm not saying doctrinally that is it, but you would be. I mean, when he got caught up to third heaven, he begged God 3 times to take the thorn of the flesh out. So, but he had decided he was going to keep pushing forward. And you're going to see that here in the next chapter when we get to that point. So it might be a little while before we get there, but talking pressing forward to the prize, the mark of the high calling of God. But this, and having this confidence, I know that I shall abide and continue with you all for your furtherance and joy of faith, that your rejoicing may be more abundant in Jesus Christ. Rejoicing, rejoicing for me by my coming to you again. He was looking like he also wanted to come and visit him again. Did he? I don't know if he did. But he wanted to. He wanted to go back and visit him. But the thing is with Paul, and like you and I, if we're born again, we're actually connected by the Holy Spirit that lives inside us, because the Holy Spirit of God is omnipresent, which means he's everywhere at the same time. So he's in each and every one of us. So they had that bond, whether Paul could see them again, or we're going to see each other in heaven, we have that bond. Now, verse 27 through 30, we'll springboard on this, probably not get too much into it. We'll just do kind of an intro. Only let your conversation be as it becometh the gospel of Christ, that whether I come and see you, or else be absent, I may hear of your affairs. That ye stand fast in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel, and in nothing terrified by your adversaries, which is to them an evident token of perdition, but to you of salvation, and that of God. For unto you it is given in behalf of Christ, not only to believe in him, but also to, listen to this, suffer for his sake. Having the same conflict which ye saw in me, and now hear to be in me. What was that conflict? Backtrack to what we were talking about last week. Paul's biggest conflict that he had was he had the desire to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. But it was more needful for him to be there. Just like we would, if we were in our right mind, would rather be absent from this body and present with the Lord. But we have work to do here. So this week, what we're going to look at is some practical points for your Christian walk. Practical points for your Christian walk. I don't want to jump into them because I could chase a lot of rabbit trails on this first point. So we're going to wrap up on that. Just springboarding. Because our conversation is the first thing we're going to look at. That's all I have for you. It's Monday, y'all. I hope you have a good day. God bless you. Talk to you tomorrow.